Welcome to Shaken and Unfiltered, a cocktail of conversation where two longtime girlfriends, one Gen X and one millennial, sip, swear, and spill the kind of midlife truths you only hear after two martinis. Slightly stirred, always served straight up.
Well, we're excited to share that our next guest was so fascinating that we had to extend this beyond just one episode. So Lindsay and I are proud to share that we are dropping our very first mini-series, a 4-part interview with our guest, Ruthie Gale, author of Call Me Before You Go. So stay tuned for all episodes dropping soon. Part 4, last of our 4-part mini-series with Ruthie Gale. Well, as I shared, your book is so fascinating and just hits on so many personal points for me too. Like reading it, and again, like I wish I had this resource 10 years ago when I lost my sister. But I feel from that, and I'm sure from your experience too, that we have so much growth and awareness and things that we can now pass on and share with others. And so I would love to get into some of the highlights in your book and just maybe walk through some of the pieces of, as we were just touching on in the first episode, seeing someone that you think is okay, but maybe is one to check on, right? And what those cues are and what those maybe like just intuition or signs that you pick up on from someone that you feel like, maybe I need to like explore this a bit. So from your view, like speaking as someone who, I'm sure you've got friends in that situation or your friends who saw you, like what were some of those things that maybe tipped them off or tipped you off?
I would say if I went quiet, like if you normally get a response from me in, a day or less, and then I don't respond for 3 days, that's a clue that I'm probably really in a bad place. I would say if your friends if it's out of their ordinary in their response to you, or they're just not doing the ordinary, you don't see them out where they normally go, or they're running late when they don't normally run late. Watch for things like that, because that would be me. I would be just late all the time, and I just show up barely in the nick of time, and that's not like me. I'm usually very punctual and on time, and so there's little things like that you can see. And I think most people, if you're in a relationship with somebody, if you're in a friendship with that person, that's when you can really see. A lot of times you can see something that kind of says, I think a lot of people know, but then the question is, what can I do for them?
And I think that that people, friends, have good intentions. They want to help. They just don't know how to. And I think there's also the fear of, I don't want to be accusational. I don't want to accuse you of anything that you might be hurt or offended by. And how do I approach this where it doesn't put you on the defensive, right? And I absolutely recognize that. And I felt that way too with my sister, was asking questions where you're trying to understand, but they felt probing, right? And then you shut someone down, and then they shut you out, right?
Yeah, sometimes it really is asking the right questions. And we talked about that a little bit before. Don't ask them what they need, because it's just one more thing they have to think about.
Right.
If they're really in a bad place, don't ask them what they need.
Right.
Just if you are if you know them well enough to know the love languages, know that they need their laundry done, and then offer to just take it to the laundromat and get it done for them, or offer the acts of service that mean something to them, offer to take them somewhere. I think that was one of the biggest things for me, was include me in something that it could be as simple as, hey, I'm running to Target to get some things. Don't make it seem like you're trying so hard to rescue them kind of thing, but more like make them feel a part of the community. Like, you're a part of my life. Do you want to go to Target with me? I just need to go find some curtains for my living room.
And that feels safe and, like you said, inclusive, where sometimes, and I think the one question that is so hard, that's very off-putting to those of us who struggled, right, is, are you okay? It feels very, even though it could be meant very benignly, it feels like scrutinizing or accusational. And then to respond to that, of course, I'm fine, right? And that was my sister. I'm fine. But to then take it a step further I remember shutting her down a few times when I would ask more questions that were more inquisitive. I could have framed them differently because I'm concerned and I'm wanting to understand more, but I think I maybe wasn't phrasing it well in those moments. But something that I have learned that's kind of one of my nuggets, and I started this actually with my boys, just because young boys have a hard time expressing like how their day was. Come home from elementary school, how was your day? Fine. It was fine. It was boring, whatever. So I started using, and it's funny because I use this now all the time with my girlfriends. I use this with my kids. I use this now with, my partner is 1 to 10, where are you? Because a fine could be, I don't want to talk about it, just please leave me alone. Or a fine is like, I'm okay today. Or a fine is like, I am not fine, but I don't know what else to say, right? So 1 to 10 is like, okay, where are you at 1 to 10? Even like just on the most like kind of trivial levels, what sounds good tonight for date night? 1 to 10. Italian, 1 to 10. Mexican. It helps break down like decision making, but also I think it kind of gives you a gauge on where you're on a scale in terms of that okayness. And for me, just in my own spectrum of that, I know that if someone says a 6, I'm like, okay, I want to understand a little bit more. 7, 8, you're okay. That seems fine to me. A 6 is a little, okay, well, let's talk more about what's making this a 6? How is it a 6, right? But then 4 or 5, it's time to kind of step in and at least dissect some of the things that could be happening. So that's just something that I use, just in that, instead of saying, are you okay? Or how are you? 1 to 10, how's today going? Where are you at today? 1 to 10.
That's a great way to communicate and to get the person to say something.
Right.
Yes, to kind of just where you have a gauge for where they're at. And then if they are at a 4 or 5, then what can we say?
Right.
What can we do? I think one of the things that helped me was when people that I was close to would just say, I know you're struggling. I know you're having a hard time, and you're going to be okay. I'm here. I'm here. You're going to be okay. Don't ask me if I'm okay. Tell me I'm going to be okay.
Yes.
It kind of, again, it's that taking charge, because we need people in our lives that can kind of be a little bossy at that point and be like, you're going to be okay. We're going to go for a walk.
Right.
We're going to go shopping at Target.
Right.
And we're going to be okay.
And I think,
because you got me.
Right. To your exact point, it's, you're going to be fine. Let's do this together. Not, oh, you're fine, where it's dismissive. Because I've had that too, right? Oh, it's fine. It's just the moment. It's just PMS. It's just, it feels very dismissive when someone does not understand at all what that person could possibly be going through, right? So, but it's the, you'll be fine, we'll be fine together. Let's us be fine, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's also acknowledging that they are struggling. That felt good to me when somebody saw me and acknowledged that, even if I hadn't explicitly told them, but maybe I had given them a 4 or 5.
Right.
Maybe I had said something that, they knew. And for them to just text me and say, I know you're struggling. I'm here for you. Let's go get some coffee.
Right.
I will pick you up in 2 hours. Take a shower. I will pick you up.
Yeah.
Whatever needs to be said, whatever you can do to just take the decision off the table. Like they don't have to say yes or no. You just made that decision for them. We're going to do this. And I know you're struggling. And I know you're not well right now.
Yep.
But it's okay. We're going to do this together. We're going to go to the lake. We're going to dip our feet into the water. And we're going to do this together.
And that is the best gift, right? When a friend can come in and just say, we're doing this. And when I lost my sister, I just completely fell apart. I was just a complete mess. And I had some friends that I think well-intentioned, but didn't know how to engage with me. And so they pulled back, and I felt almost abandoned in those moments that they couldn't go deep. They couldn't discuss it because it was too hard, too messy. And also, let's be honest, suicide is hard to talk about, right? It's very complicated. But I had, my best friend would come in and she'd just drop off dinners, didn't even ask. It's like, we're doing this. I got this for you. And it was just this constant, like, she was always there every day. She was involved in something without even asking me, just would show up. Okay, I'm dropping this off, or here we're doing this. And she was a lifeline. I mean, she saved me through this period. Because and I had so many other girlfriends too that were so wonderful and did that. But when you have someone that really understands you and can step in and just go, I got you. Like, let's just, we're in this together, was tremendous.
I think that is the best gift you can give someone when they're in crisis, is do the practical things that feel so monumentous, even like feeding yourself.
Right.
like I'm sure
Right, with kids.
you did not even,
Yeah.
the last thing on your mind is like, what am I going to eat?
I couldn't even eat. I was losing
you
weight because I
can't.
was just in this like state of like horrific depression. And, thank goodness my husband at the time stepped in, and he was great through all of this. I mean, he was wonderful. He picked up the slack, didn't put anything on me. I mean, he just like took care of everything that I had kind of like just, froze on. I couldn't function anymore. He stepped in to do all of that. But again, it's the meals. And that's
It's the
just
practical.
amazing. Like, come have a coffee. Come do an errand with me. It's just change of...
Include me in your
Yes.
life. I think that's one of the biggest things that we can do for people that are in crisis or depressed or, just don't want to, they don't feel like they're part of life anymore.
Right.
They're just off in their own
Right.
world of heartbreaking
Right.
grief.
They're in a spiral of trauma.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that was your friend for you that you had wrote about in your book. And she
Yes.
was that lifeline for you.
She was, and she still is.
Oh.
We still have that pact. We still, to this day, we keep each other accountable. And I will call her if I'm down in the dumps, and she'll be like, Ruthie, you're not quitting now.
Yep.
You're already well into your bright future.
Right.
So
Right.
you've already made it through the worst. So we go on walks every week together. So that feels good. That's the other thing I wanted to talk about a little bit is, as much as you can, do these things in a routine to where the person can expect every Tuesday we're going to go meet for coffee. Every Wednesday we're going to do this, or Thursday nights, that's your free evening. We're going to, this is, as much as you can, don't just do things once, but make them like a part of the routine.
A routine.
A weekly or a monthly or something. I mean, if they're really in a bad place, I have a friend right now who is in a really just not good place, and she needs those every other day check-ins.
Yep.
I mean,
Maybe
even every day. And I tell everybody that knows her, I'm just like,
Circle the wagons.
it does not hurt to say every single day, I'm thinking about you. You're going to get through this. You're a powerful. I mean, remind them how powerful they are.
Right.
Don't ask them how they're doing. Maybe ask them about their heart sometimes, but there's a time and a place for that, because sometimes it does feel good to just like talk about how you're really doing. I would say if you have a really close relationship with them, you can ask them that. You can ask them how they're really doing. And but I think for the most part, tell them how powerful and amazing they are. Include them. Make things a part of the routine with you and them that they can look forward to.
Yes.
Because literally there was a time when my weekly walks with my friend kept me going. It was like, I have a walk with her on Tuesday morning. And so no matter what hell I'm going through with my husband and the kids and everybody's falling apart, it was like so important that I had that.
And there's something with walks too, is you can talk, it's a safe space. It's funny how you can open up so much more on a walk versus like sometimes staring across, a cocktail table, with your friend. But also the exercise piece itself is very cathartic. And then you come out of it. And I do think someone who's struggling needs to move their body, right? They need to not just like sink into the couch and melt. Like moving your body and being physical is so good for your mental health.
Yes, do something that puts you in your body and out of your mind. Get out of this and get into your body.
Right.
Anything like that. I will say, often though, it does take a friend. I had another friend who invited me to yoga, hot yoga. And she got me going on that. So there was a time in my life where that was something I looked forward to. But she got me to go with her. So, I don't think it's as helpful to say, hey, you should go on a walk every night.
Right.
You should.
Have you thought about yoga?
Yeah.
Because then it puts the onus on you to then have to investigate it, to do it. And you just don't have the energy capacity.
You don't.
Right.
So.
Buddy system.
Versus, just telling them, hey, I go to this thing at Raintree every Wednesday night. You want to come?
Yeah.
And it's like, yes.
It feels
because
safe
it's
and easy.
easy to
like,
say, make their yes easy.
Yeah. Yep.
Make it easier to say yes.
Yes.
Than to say no.
Absolutely.
Or for them to decide is going to be a no. It's going to be a no every time.
So on point. So I would love to hear you talk a bit about, because I think this is a fine line for people who want to help, is also,
I think, protecting themselves. Because those of us who are empaths, I think you are too,
Yes.
right? We feel so deeply and we absorb other people's emotions, their feelings, their crisis. And so how do we as helpers and good friends also kind of take care of ourselves and not fall into a situation where we then we feel responsible for that person? Because that's a fine line. And I remember feeling that with my sister. I still work on that feeling of responsibility, and her friends did too. And so what was that like for you in terms of seeing friends try to hold a boundary maybe, but also what you've learned from that in terms of helping your friends that are in a situation where they need you?
Yeah. There's a reason why they tell you to put your oxygen mask on first when you're on the plane and you're in crisis.
Yep.
I think us mothers have to learn that at some point, or we will drive ourselves crazy.
Absolutely.
Because when we make it all about the kids first,
Yes.
their needs before mine, it burns you out, and you will lose yourself. And I think there was some of that. I can't speak for my husband completely, my ex-husband, but I think there was some of that, where it was just maybe he felt too responsible. And I think people do sometimes, but just having that awareness, like, I am only responsible for me on a good day.
Right.
That is the only person I can really take care of.
Right.
At the end of the day. I mean, your friend, your sister can pull the trigger, and that is their choice.
And it is their choice.
And you can only do what you can do.
Yes.
And I think there is also just this level of self-forgiveness, radical self-acceptance that for your limits as a human. I do believe we are divine in human bodies, but we are still in human bodies. We can only do so much. We can't go and do their laundry plus mine, and my kids, take care of my kids plus yours.
Right.
Like, we have limits as humans.
Right.
And so understanding that at the end of the day, it is their choice too.
Yep.
Ultimately, it is their choice.
It absolutely is. And I think
they have to decide, am I going to live or die?
And no one can change that. Even though those of us close to someone who we've lost, we feel that if only blah, 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 maybe if I tried this, blah, 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 would have happened. But yeah, you're right. Absolutely. It is up to the person, and it is their choice.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. And for those of us that are trying our best to help and to support, we have to remind ourselves it's not saving.
That's right. It's not fixing. It's not saving.
Fixing, and it's not saving. It's being a support system. And as you mentioned, telling other people to reach out to, like, diversify the support. Don't own all of it as one person. Like, I'm the lifeline, right? I am the first responder. Share and spread the responsibility too, because I think it's important for other people within that person's community to have an awareness, and they probably do, but just to connect together so you can support each other, but also it helps share, I think, in, I won't say responsibility, but just share in the care.
Yeah. Also, if you have a spouse, if this is a spouse or somebody that you live with, somebody really close to you, make a list, have the person make a list of people they trust, phone numbers on that list.
Okay.
And everybody gets that list.
Oh,
so I know.
Excellent.
So I know who are the people that she trusts. My husband kind of learned along the way that, he meant well, but sometimes he reached out to people that I was mortified that they knew.
Yes.
And I didn't know. I didn't want them to know.
Yeah.
I would have much rather they called somebody else.
That
or
happened with my sister.
Don't call my mom or don't call and it
certain
people.
compounded the shame. And then you want to pull back even more, right? You're just,
Yeah, there were times when I wanted him to call my mom, but it wasn't, there needs to be people that we can absolutely trust anytime. Like, these are your people that we are allowed to call. We, as your friends, we're allowed to reach out to them and say, hey, Ruthie's struggling. It's time to rally around.
Right.
So I did that. I made a list of those people, and it was a very short list in the beginning, but it grew over time because there were more and more people that I felt like I could be safe with. Right. That I could trust.
And I think, too, that would have helped me, like, during the last few months of my sister's life,
she was really spiraling and really unwinding, and people were seeing different elements of her life that I wasn't privy to. If only we had kind of collected the notes earlier on, and like, my cousin who was there, who saw her house and it was in disarray, and she didn't have the energy to even make dinner, and he's like, this is not her at all. Like, this is so out of character. To your point, there's a red flag here. I wish that he would have like flagged me on this and said, hey, like, or just anyone, right? But I think that in those moments, we don't realize actually what we're seeing. And we're like, oh, she's just having a hard time. It's a transition. She's just recently divorced. This is part of it. It's natural. You don't think like, maybe I should be sharing what I'm seeing with others.
Right.
Because they all probably have a different puzzle piece themselves, right?
Yeah. It takes a village. And I think if you can get your person to be seen a little bit, to just let somebody in, even if that list is 2 people right now.
Right.
It is something, it is a lifeline. It is something that I can, as your friend, as your sister, I can call this other person and rally around you.
Right.
Because when you are suicidal, you won't reach out. You just want to die. You just want to get out of the pain. So you're not going to reach out to those people. Even if you had previously decided that they were your lifeline.
Right.
You don't see anything but
your tunnel.
Yes.
Right.
Tunnel vision. So you need the people on that list to get with each other, say, hey, there's something going on.
Right.
We need to check on her. We need to check on him. And we haven't even talked about men in this situation.
Right.
That's a whole other thing, because statistically, men are more likely to commit suicide than women.
They're more isolated. They don't have, and I see this just a lot in, my 50s, just as friendships evolve, that women are the connectors. Women are the ones that have the community, and men, I think, would love to have that, but they don't know how. I mean, I think our society's really embraced a men's community.
Yes.
And I feel like men, especially middle age and on, become isolated.
They do. And it's not as, I think it's harder to pick up on the signs with men.
Yes.
I think women, because they are more emotionally expressive usually.
Yeah, we process externally. Yes.
A little bit more. I think the signs are just not, it's harder to detect when a man is depressed, because he will just swallow himself up in work. He'll still go to the job and perform and be like, this great businessman, that is like got is doing life.
It's the masculine responsibility of like, I have to be the strong one, the caretaker. But oftentimes it manifests in other ways, through alcohol, through other addictions. It manifests in other ways, right?
Yeah.
So while they try to squash it down, it still kind of pops up in some areas of the life where it's an indication.
Yeah. So
it's harder.
Maybe at some point there will be a book for men.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think there needs to be more.
We need that, and we need a book for teenagers, because
Oh my
our
gosh.
teens are struggling,
They
and it's
are
like
even more so than like boys, girls. We live behind our screens. We live in very solitary, worlds now, especially coming out of COVID. Everyone just wants to kind of hunker down and Netflix and not make the effort to go out and be social. And I know I'm part of that too. I'm a lot more, I would say, introverted now than I was before. And I think it manifests some issues that might be there for people who do feel they're struggling.
I think people don't want to be seen, because we do live in a very polarizing world right now, even politically. There's such a
division.
There's such a division on who you voted for,
angry,
and it's like, I don't know, if I'm really seen, then that person might think I'm a a terrible person just because of who I voted for. And so that keeps people in their prisons, in their lonely spaces. And I am determined now to break out of that and just, I for a while did not have people over at my house after the divorce, after a separation. I just felt like, what's the point? And also it's a lot of work when it's just you hosting people and, getting the backyard all cleaned up and making the food, and it's a lot. It's a lot. But I also just didn't want to do it, because I was like, well, what's the point? Like, everybody, I just didn't feel like I had value in myself, but I force myself sometimes to just get back out there, have people over.
Yeah. And make it simple. It doesn't have to be a production, right? It could be just come over for pizza. Order pizza,
That's another thing I've learned is, keep it way simple. You can, it's okay. People just want to fellowship with each other. They just
Right.
want to be. I can't believe I said that word fellowship. It's such a Mennonite word that I'm like, oh, we used to have fellowship meals after church. It's so
Yeah,
funny.
but I like it though. But it speaks to
yeah,
that. They
it's
just want
true.
connection, right, and friendship and sharing.
Yes. And
Yeah.
some of my best connections have come since my divorce. It's been amazing how much community I've gotten from just pushing through, having neighbors over, even though, I had to get used to, like, it's just me and the kids.
Yeah.
What do I really have to offer? Like, the man if it's a husband and wife, like,
Right.
I'm sorry you don't have a guy to talk to,
Yeah.
but I had to get over that.
Yeah.
And just see that I have value.
Yeah.
In
And I do think that
myself.
oftentimes men enjoy being part of women's conversations.
They do,
Right?
I've realized that
They
we've had
do.
some great conversations, and it's okay. We can just be honest too. We can say, like, "Hey, I'm a little bit of a mess.
Right.
I didn't get everything, the house all cleaned up or whatever. But here's some hot dogs on the grill.
Yep.
Like, you know what? That's what I'm
Easy.
doing on Sunday for Easter. I'm like,
That's amazing.
bring a side dish. We're gonna
Amazing.
just we're gonna celebrate.
It's not about the what, it's just about the connection, the fellowship, as you said. Yes,
Yes, it
absolutely.
is.
Yes. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you so much. You are just an inspiration, and you just have a wealth of knowledge and experience. And so if anyone who hears our podcast wants to connect with you or maybe ask some advice, your book's available on Amazon. Call Me Before You Go, Ruthie Gale. How else can they connect with you?
My website,
Okay.
ruthiegale.com, and Instagram, I'm on there as Ruthie Gale. Facebook, I'm a little bit more active on Instagram. Yeah, that's about it. I'm not on X at the moment,
Yeah.
but probably should be. TikTok, it's not
Yeah.
my jam, but I'm trying.
right. I
I'm
know,
trying
same.
to be relevant and
Yeah.
get on there, but I
a
don't know. Yeah, that's a little tricky for me. But also, I just want to say one more thing to anyone that is really in a fight for their life. I want to leave you with hope that you can change your life. You can change your life. You do not have to, life does not have to be a struggle all the time. It doesn't.
And to that exact point, change is inevitable. So where you're at now will absolutely evolve. And I think that helped me a lot in my hard times, is that when you're in that moment of like, I feel hopeless or this is a struggle for me, just know that tomorrow is a different day and things don't stay the same, good, bad, or indifferent. They're going to change. So where you're at now is not where you're going to be forever.
Everything can change in a second.
Yeah.
In literally a minute, everything can change. And if nothing else, your perspective can change. And that changes everything. That was really ultimately what changed my life, was my perspective. And I stopped telling the story of abandonment and rejection and mistrust and mistreatment. And I started telling the story of being loved and chosen and worthy. And yeah, it's completely changed everything. And I want people to know that no matter what you're going through, no matter how hopeless it feels, you can change your life.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ruthie.
Thank you so much.
This is wonderful.
You've been listening to Shaken and Unfiltered with Jen and Lindsay. Catch every episode wherever you get your podcasts and join in the conversation on social at Shaken Unfiltered for strong drinks and stronger opinions. We'll see you next round. Cheers.